Hey guys, what's up? It's your commissioner for the Beeros Drive Fantasy Football League. Sorry about no video last week. I'm going to do a quick recap of week 5 since I didn't make anything or write anything up. Do the week 6 recap, go into a little bit of week 7. Got a lot of info to cram into this one video, so sit back and we'll start with week 5. Week 5 began with former commissioner AJ beating me by about 10 points. Huge day 2 weeks ago from Justin Herbert and Derrick Henry. One of those continued on with that this week. We had one down here with Mullins beating Rob by 3 points. Mullins went into Monday Night Football needing a huge day out of Lamar Jackson to even have a shot, and got one of the biggest fantasy football days of the year for any one player, 47 points. Pulled out that victory, so continued his luck streak pretty much. Then we had Derek beating Matt Brand. Derek scored 132 points. Matt Brand was 125, so kind of a bad beat there for Matt Brand. We had Keaton's team with the highest scoring total of the week beating Ross Wilson's team with the lowest score of the week. So that was a blowout, almost by 80 points. And then Kyler had a big win over Javo. Javo actually had the worst beat of the week. He had the third highest total of the entire week and still lost by just under 2 points. So that's kind of a tough gig. Hold on one second. Okay, back to week 5. So Matt Mullins actually won the prop bet for that week, which was that his total going in, or his total after week 5, was the closest to what ESPN had his projected total at. I think it was about 2.6 points away. Going into that same Monday Night Football game, I was winning that prop bet at about 3.5 points, and of course Lamar Jackson scored 47 to not only get Mullins the win, but get him the 15 bucks. So let's move on here to week 6, which was this past weekend. We'll start at the bottom. Former commissioner AJ, a lot like Matt Mullins the week before, went into Monday Night Football losing very badly, but had Derrick Henry and Buffalo's kicker combined to give him about 46 points, and pulled out the win over Kyler. Kind of a tough game. Kyler and I were talking on the group chat while it was happening, so rough way to go. AJ moves to 5-1 and is in first place. Next up on the list, we've got Derek, who wins over Javo 135 to 103. Javo stays 0-6. I think Derek had the highest scoring total of the week at 135. So he's going to be able to pick the name and logo for the loser of the next match, which is Rob pulling out the win, 109 over Keaton at 73.9. Keaton did have a big day from Josh Allen, but kind of not much else across the board. So Derek, you get to pick Keaton's name and logo this week. Also, Javo, since you're still 0-6, you still got to keep that name, unfortunately. So maybe you'll get there eventually, we think. Then we got Matt Brand, 123 over Mullins, 105. Finally, Mullins has been complaining about his luck all the time, but damn, he keeps winning. So let's see. Matt Brand's got Cooper Kupp and Darnell Henderson. So 2 Rams that are really kind of doing it for him. Cooper Kupp's having an incredible year, so that might end up being one of the best picks of the year, besides AJ picking up Derrick Henry. And then last one of the week, we had myself being victorious over Ross, 132 to 90. I guess I just had a big day from the Cowboys. Thankfully, they went into overtime. That kind of helped me. The Rams had a good defensive game. So let's go into this week's prop bet. This week's prop bet ended up falling on manager fail, which is listed as the highest amount of bench points, which normally you would think might translate to you making some poor decisions and not getting the most out of your team. But the person who won this week is Matt Brand, who not only won his matchup, but also wins the 15 bucks for the highest bench points at 66 points. let's see what else we got here. So that means that Matt Brand won a game. He gets to change his name back if he would like to. Javo can't change his name, and Derek picks that name and logo for Keaton. So let's take a look at the standings right now. All right, so there's your standings as it looks through week 6. One more week, we'll be halfway through the regular season, so keep those wins stacking up. We've got AJ at the top, 5-1. We've got a 4-way tie at 4-2 with the 3 Matt and Derek. Keaton as the lone 3-3 team. 3-way tie down there at 2-4, and then Javo bringing up the rear. So it's not out of the question for him to still be able to come back and possibly make the playoffs, but he's going to need some good luck here towards the end of the year. So with that, let's go break down a little bit of what's going on in week 7. We'll start at the top. Just a reminder, I'm sure you're all pretty much aware as I look through these, projected totals are very low. The bye weeks have started, and week 7 is actually the highest number of teams with the same bye week all year. So we've got the Bills, the Cowboys, the Chargers. Those 3 teams have a lot of fantasy implications. Then we've also got the Jaguars, the Vikings, and the Steelers all on bye this week. So could have some interesting lineups going against each other this week. Myself, I'm playing against Rob. Rob, started the season or started this league in 2014 with one of the craziest Byepocalypse type team rebuilds ever. So maybe this is what he'll need to get over the hump. Mullins will be taking on Keaton, two managers who still need to do a little bit of work here on their lineups for the week. Javo will be taking on Matt Brand, 0-6 versus 4-2, trying to get his first win of the year. He's got a good team, just needs everybody to kind of put it together at the same time. Then we've got number 1 at the top, former Commissioner AJ taking on Derek. 2 pretty hot teams right now, both of which are obviously going to be, it looks like AJ is dealing with a lot of bye week stuff this week. And then we've got, bringing up the rear, Kyler and Ross, both teams at 2-4. Getting to 3-4 versus 2-5 is going to be a pretty big deal when it comes to making the playoffs. So if our current reigning Lord Commissioner wants to try to make that repeat happen, he's going to have to turn it up, and Kyler's going to try to make some separation there between him and the other 2-4 teams. So that's about all I have. I'm making this video a day early. I'm out of town this weekend playing in a kind of a golf tournament, golf trip type thing, so I may be kind of silent. If anybody's got any questions this week, let me know. Waivers are going to run tonight. Again, with bye weeks, you're really going to need to scour that waiver wire and make some good picks this week to try to claw your way through a tough bye week. Kansas City's going to play the Titans this week. If anybody watched that Monday Night Football game, the Titans are going to be no pushover. Derrick Henry might single-handedly destroy our defense. But we stopped them in the playoffs last year, 2 years ago. So I think we'll be able to figure it out. Kansas City finally looked like they were back on track in the second half. I don't really care what Mizzou's doing. It doesn't really matter at this point, does it? Yeah, that's all I got. Good luck this weekend, guys, and keep stacking up those victories. Talk to you next week.